Good morning. Trying a slightly different camera view. Let's see if this kind of works in terms of like maybe being able to see kind of stuff that I'm doing. Get to these in a little bit. All right. How are we looking? Excuse me. Good morning, Manny. How are you? Good morning. Manny, I'm assuming you're getting back from work. Edwin, good evening. How are you, my friend? Tony, you're home. Yay. We are working on, what are we working on today? I am continuing to work on the K Raccoon, getting it finished for a vignette that I'm working on, a vignette. How's the healing going? Yeah. Glad to see Tony is home. I put my laptop on a lower shelf. I'm propping here, folks. I'm hoping this view will be a little better in being able to see kind of the stuff that I'm doing. Beautiful space. Hey, Joe, good morning. We are all alive. Hey, yes, I am on my way home. Good for you, ma'am. I hope you had a nice evening at work. Painless. Right. Let's see. Ooh, we got things are a-flowing. 7 days of prayer for dad, family only today. Ate a lot and seems like I gained a lot this week. Not planning. In terms of gained a lot, I'm hoping what you're saying is you gained a lot of comfort or some kind of an experience, but it could also mean maybe gain some weight. Now planning to buy new 3D printer. Excuse me. That's kind of cool. What are you thinking about, Edwin? Healing is slow. Maybe so. All I have managed to do is sleep a lot. Well, it is funny how the body reacts. After an injury. The amount of energy that's expended in the healing process is pretty high. MSA, what's going on, man? Welcome. Busy morning, evening. It was yesterday was a long day. The last few days at work have been long, and then just all the other stuff that's been going on with regards to it's been doing a lot of work for my IPMS chapter. Staying up and watching Mike Wednesday night. No, not blaming, I'm just saying. And then last night I finally just I crashed out early, woke up and watched a movie because it's like a movie always kind of puts me in a better frame of mind. It was wild. People getting assaulted by homeless, but other than that, it was quiet. People getting assaulted, like physically accosted? Oof. A1 mini and photon mono for backup gained a lot of weight. Yeah. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense in some ways, right? All right, we're going to hit that with Surfacer. Let's get this going. Sleep helps a lot with the healing process. Absolutely. It's part of the process, really. It is part of the process. Sure does. And I love sleep. Really. See, that's it. I don't. My body just says you need it. I'd rather not sleep. I don't know. If I could, I'd rather stay up 24 hours. Just live the time that I have to the fullest. But having said that, one needs sleep. Yep. Accosted. Wow. It's an unfortunate situation. Man. That's a topic for another day. They got another UFO in the sky and they tried to strike it down, but eventually failed. Another UFO? Okay. So we're actually being invaded by people from Mars? Funny enough, that is what I watched last night. Tony, hello, Edwin. Hope you're doing okay. And my condolences. Let me choose when to power down. Yeah. That's kind of it. You know, I mean, there are times when you go to bed and you just, and like as soon as you just lie down and that energy, you just feel it. It's like the energy just goes right into your bed and you're like, oh, this is good. And you just kind of like start like curling up and falling asleep. Yes, I get that. But wanting to sleep? No, I'd rather stay awake. I believe they meant USO. You will be invaded by showgirls. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind that. What's going on, Ray? Good morning. Yeah, airship flying was struck by a Hellfire missile and it bounced off. Really? Oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. Not Mars, but from somewhere out there. Yeah. Okay. I finally got a chance to finish watching the old Hammer film, Quatermass in the Pit, known here in the U.S. as 5 Million Years to Earth. It's an old Hammer film of a story from a BBC show. I did not realize it was a BBC show from 55. It was quite good. Quite good. Not a great film, but a good film. About Martian bugs invading us 5 million years ago. It's pretty cool. They're from Uranus. I bet they are. A lot of things from there. Guy crazy, kind of crazy shit. Cool if they stop. It's my family. They're looking for me. Could be just Trump trying to distract us from something. I guess both you and me know what it is. Not my anus. No, not my anus. It's your anus. I don't know. Yeah. The whole concept of aliens out there always fascinates me. This may require some putty. We'll have to. This is going to have to be a see what happens when you apply primer. I'm going to hit it with some surfacer right now. This is about ready to go with the surfacer side of things. That's a pretty big fucking gap. It's been filled somewhat, but not enough. I'm going to break out the rotary tool for a second, guys. I'm going to mute you. This country is so weird, man. It's just so strange. Oh, this country is totally weird. But then, which one isn't? I'm sure if aliens came here, they'd be looking at this and it's like, let's just wait for them to duke it out. Let's not send our forces in to take over this world. Let's wait for them to beat the shit out of each other. They'll be at a nice weak state. Then we'll sweep in. In the meantime, pass the popcorn. Yeah, the video of the hellfire pinging off UFO is eye-opening. Really? I gotta just, and this isn't like some stupid AI shit, right? Like some, some fake stuff. Yeah, the aliens are going to third party. Yeah. Do government-made UFOs exist? Well, technically, a UFO is an unidentified flying object. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be, extraplanetary. So, yes, they can. We are going to use strip. After much debating at the master level, so I've been doing a lot of master debating here, we are going to actually lay down some strip. 2 mil? I don't think so. Yeah. Let's go somewhere between 1 and 1.5. Let's see if 0.25 might not be too much. Attaboy. And our property management team, they're just waiting for the value to go down. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The story is out of Nam from the soldiers on the riverboats about UFOs. I like the missile bouncing off. My father-in-law told me some wild stories. So I just feel like I've got to ask, though, because I know that soldiers were doing a whole lot of stuff in order to try to make it through the war. Was he on anything when he saw these things? The call could come from inside the house. Yeah, from inside the house, man. Nice. Right. Oh, 4 tours and screws you up. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Tony, I think I might not. We just kind of shrugged it off. Yeah. Kind of could make sense. If they exist, then there's a 60% chance that it's just Trump distracting us from next Steve. But they won't fool me. No, sir. That's funny. All right. We are looking to lay down strip here. That one will work. And that is just about the right size. Great. In fact, I might just curl this one all the way around. Yeah, maybe not. I don't need to be super accurate because a lot of that's going to get feathered in anyway. Hey, Mike, good morning. What are you making, by the way? Still working on the same model, the Maschinen Krieger. I'm going to do a little bit of a patch for a section that doesn't seem to have turned out as well as I'd like. Michael the Ghost. So anybody got anything special planned for today? I do. Early sleep. Nice. Morning blood. Michael the Ghost, early sleep. I'm planning on sleeping today and waking up later on. Yes. Nice. I'm heading up to Maine this morning, or leaving probably around 9 or so. I might actually end the show a little early, maybe like around 7:30, 7:45, so I can get ready, but head up to Maine. And I'm going to meet my wife. We actually did this recently when my younger daughter, she was visiting with my wife sometime over the summer. She came back down and forgot her car keys. So I needed to drive up and meet my wife somewhere. So we met in Portsmouth, had dinner. She gave me the keys, and we're like, we should do this kind of as a date. It's like if I can't come up to you and you can't come to me, why don't we just meet somewhere in the middle? So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be meeting at a Gunkwit today. Shad and Grieger. I'm sorry, what the heck? Same thing we do every weekend. Try and save the world. That's jobless life for you, baby. That's jobless life for you? You're right. Let's lay down. Oh, man. I feel like I got a fuzzy on my nose. Yeah, it's too long. Try it back. That's a little too long. I think we're just going to go really short. Let's go halfsies on this. Anyway. Trying to save the world is a booming business. No, it's actually not. Business would mean that you're making money at it. Are you making money at it, Joe? God bless if you are. Let's soften up this area a wee bit, shall we? After I'm done with this, right there, and I'm going to feather that in afterward. I'll do a quick little show and tell. There we go. So all I did was lay down just a little piece of plastic right there. And yes, it's misshapen. All I'm going to do, it's pretty thin. I'm going to let it dry in place, and then afterwards just kind of feather it in, shape it into place. Literally just kind of just doing a patch, really. And that will fill so much of that gap in. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay. So far, so good. just a smidge. Lay down a little bit more thin cement. There we go. I'm almost home. Can't wait to play some BL4. Nice. Oh. All right, no 4. I think I'm getting better. If it's only 3, it ain't too bad. Well, my wealth is love, so nice. All right. So we're going to leave that here. We'll put this away. We'll get back to put all these little scrappy pieces away too. Little scrap bucket. Gesundheit. Thank you, Joe. All right, real quickly. So my thought was when I get back to this guy is to get it all finished off and to do a little sort of Ukrainian style vignette, you know, paint the Ukrainian flag on the front of it, that kind of thing. But I didn't want it just to be the tank. I wanted actually to get some figures on this thing. So I ordered on AliExpress a bunch of little figures, and they came in yesterday. And looking at them cursorily, these things look really good. Now, is there cleanup? Yeah. But let's see if I can get this guy. I'm not sure how much this is going to come through, but let's take a look. I mean, that's 1/72nd scale, right? So I'm going to try to block some of that too. It's pretty good. So, you know, I'm just kind of leaving it there. I mean, I'm wondering if they're a little too large for the scale, but we'll see. Looking at it next to the tank, I gotta tell you, that's 1/72nd scale. Boy, those guys must have been jammed in there. It's a couple of different figures. Those two are the same. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of them, but you know, it goes a package of 6. Hey, Mason, good morning. Yeah, there you go. Again, detailed enough for my needs. A little bit of cleanup to do on it, but you know, looks like it's 3D printed. Just gonna put it right here. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool. Anyway, there we go. 1/72nd scale figures for the model. Yeah, included 6. I think these cost something like, I don't know, $17 for 6 of them. So not too bad. Those came in yesterday, and I got a second. So Meng continues to do the I have to go for now. See you tomorrow. Already, Edwin, have a good evening, my friend, and look forward to catching up tomorrow. What's going on, Mason? Good morning. So Meng continues to release, it looks like it's quarterly. They're releasing these 1/72nd scale tanks. They now just announced the Chinese ZTZ-99 MBT, which is coming out beginning of the year. That's kind of cool. The which one was it? The Leopard 2A4 just shipped. Looking forward to seeing that. I've got currently 3 models on order, 2 of which have shipped. The other one is the Dragonar kit, which won't be hitting my way for a while. It's fine. And that would complete the 3 main Dragonar suits, which are suits, metal armors, whatever they want to call them. Before we do that, a little gloppy in here. I mean, I can treat this as weathering easily. I don't think I will. I guess this angle does work a little bit better. I think you can see more of the shit that I'm doing. Sister and I recorded last night with On the Bench podcast for PatCon. Should be a good episode. Excellent. When do we expect to see that come out? That I want to get published. It's every 2 weeks. So that'll be, when do they publish their episodes? Oh, this will be good. I think there are things that we are doing this year with regards to PatCon that have really continues to build on the marketing of the show. Oh, damn, it's out now. It's out now? Great. No, that's absolutely fantastic. Oh, that's going to be my drive time listening today. But there are things that we're doing, and give me 1 second here, Mason, because I got something to tell you. I got something to tell you, motherfucker. Got that. Okay, I'll stop here for a second. Everybody leave and go listen. That's right. It's like watch the follower, the attending time just drop like a rock. As I've just been saying, there are things that are happening this year that we're doing this year. We're better preparing for the show. We're better marketing the show. And what's interesting is it's one, it's coming from people like Mason. So Mason, thank you so much for doing all the stuff you've been doing. Our newer members, guys like Chris, who's been really pushing along like the some of the back end stuff. Guys like Spencer, who've been managing a lot of the sort of the keeping of lists and payments of stuff. And I'm going to give a shout out to myself too. The website management, putting out a schedule, getting all that stuff done. Our seminar volunteers, we're getting that stuff out early and with relevant topics. The younger group, the newer members, and by newer I mean the guys who came in probably within the last 5 years or so. Our new members are stepping forward, and the number of volunteers we're having to like, how can I help? How can I help? Has been fabulous. It has become, the seminars will be awesome this year. I think so too. But the point of it all is like, there's so much coalescing of I'm going to put this down because I can't hold that and hold this. Just can't, just too much stuff. But there's so much going on right now by us, the newer members. And in some ways, we're trying to do things differently and in a way that I think is very professional. And there's still a lot of the traditional stuff that's getting done by our older members, but the stuff that we're doing now, I think is what's ultimately capitalizing on making this thing a better show. And part of it is I continue to come back to something that Don Johnson, who is the one of the heads over at our sister chapter, Wings and Wheels, keeps saying. It's like, we have to treat people like their clients. Yeah. No, I don't think I am at all. And look, here's the thing. I don't typically pat myself on the back, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it for you guys too. For the people who have recently come into our organization, we are doing things differently. You want to go and manage the vendors. You want to go out and print your flyers. You want to go out and do great. Have at it. We know we need to get that stuff done. We're going to get our guys to go on to podcasts. We're going to go out there and improve our website and actually make it a fucking usable place. We're going to get emails going out to people who have attended in the past so that they know what's coming up, including the schedule, which I think is huge. One of the things is like, you keep thinking, it's like, why doesn't anybody publish a schedule and run the socials? All of it. The stuff that Chris has done has been fabulous. He's been driving a lot of that subtle back end stuff that's been great. Spencer and his and the management of all this stuff at a time when we lost our usual show manager because he's been just flat out busy with work. All that's good. So what we're seeing now is, the next generation literally stepping forward and, and in some ways taking over. And I'm very much in favor of all this because there's other stuff I want to discuss. I'm not going to do it now. But there's a lot I think we are very quickly becoming one of the thought leaders in how to run a show. and what that means, right? So, so Spencer, I very much am happy to hear that. And thank you for doing that. I knew that was going to happen. I didn't expect it was going to happen now. So that's fabulous news that that's happening. I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to do this again. And I know for people who may not be invested in PatCon, it may not be anything that's huge. Great. This is an important thing. This is something I think that if we're looking to find ways of, and I guess this is the ultimate question, and we'll come back to this in a bit. We're forward thinking and not resting on our laurels. I don't even think it's resting on the laurels. I think it's Spencer, Mason. I think you and I are on the same page. Mason and I have talked about this issue quite often. Don't ever come to us and say, that's the way we do things. That's the way it's always been done. That's going to elicit a fuck you attitude. Have you ever thought of playing some music in the background? No. And the reason is I don't want to deal with the any copyright issues and trying to sort of that. Yeah, not interested. This is not about, MSA, this is a great question you're asking. If I were looking to be a professional YouTuber, I'd probably treat this like a professional video production. I don't give a shit. This is about me sitting here talking with people throughout the world, having a good time, catching up on stuff. But yeah, that's it. There are copyright-free songs. There might be. How much time do I want to invest in becoming a YouTuber? I'm not doing this because I want to become a YouTuber. I'm doing this because I want to just have a conversation with people in the morning. That's the reason. So again, I kind of like, we talk about this. I'm doing things differently. If people want the whiz bang and all that other stuff, there are other places you're going to do that. This is not what we do here, or this is not what I do, I should say. So with all that being said, Mason, congratulations again. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to hear that. And I can't wait to listen to that episode. That's going to be fabulous. All right. We're hitting this area. Yeah. And Spencer, if I may, Spencer, I don't know why I keep calling Mason Spencer. Mason, I'm so sorry. One of the things that Mason, I think, is also very important is the last couple of weeks I've been burning out, partly because of all the stuff I've been doing behind the scenes, answering emails, questions, working on the website and all that other stuff. So when you hear about the successes, like stuff like, when you think about it, if we were just some, relatively small group, it might end up being that, on the bench would be like, hey, we not necessarily want to talk to you. Or, if you don't ask, you don't get. I'm going to use an example of that in a second. Well, if you were to play some classic gems back there, it'd be nice. You got any favorite songs? I've got hundreds of thousands of favorite songs, of course. Hundreds of thousands. I'm not playing music. Just going to let anybody know. Again, if it's going to take anything that's going to make this thing take more time to get the production value improved, I'm not interested. If I'm going to take my time to become a production value kind of guy, I'll go into what I study, which is film. Not interested. So, let's see. When I was many years ago, when I was first getting into the AV industry, I worked at a company called Tweeter. Tweeter, et cetera, used to do trainings for their salespeople. They didn't just train you on the products, they trained you to become salespeople, and you had to pass. In order for you to become a salesperson, you had to become a trained, successful salesperson. You had a mentor, and you went, and they came out and they said, okay, so sell me this TV. And then you had to go through all the stuff that they taught you. maybe it sounds a little Stepford Wife-ish, but you know what? In the end, I remember when I had that moment where it clicked, and I'm like, "Holy God, this is very powerful, and I understand why we're doing this." In any case, fabulous training. During one of the seminars, there was one of the presenters said, "So last session, they did one of the vendors came in, and in front of a class of about 25 salespeople, and pulled out $100 bill and just said, 'All right, here's $100 bill. Who wants this?' And just stood there like that. And for a few moments, it's like everybody just like they didn't know what to do. One guy got up, grabbed the bill. The guy who's running the seminar said, 'That's going to be your successful sales guy.' He wanted it." Hey, Richie. Good morning. And that's kind of the approach that I take on a lot of this stuff too. It's like if you like, especially with our club, it's if your expectations are let's just continue to do the same things. And look, there are times when you don't want to change, you don't want to upset the apple cart. I get that. But if you want to change stuff, you're gonna have to do something. Richie, good morning. What's going on, brother? So anyway, all in all, just to kind of just kind of recap all this stuff. I'm very thankful for working with people like Mason, with Spencer, with Chris, with all the guys who are like, why are we doing things the same way? And we're changing things, and I think that's huge. So anyway, Mason, I look forward to listening to that, and thank you so much for doing that. That's awesome. Nice shirt you're wearing. I thought so. Of course, Sid and Nancy. And then I just woke up. I was up late on the phone talking to people about the event today. Nice. You're spending all night talking about an event that you're going to today. Yeah. There we go. That's looking good. I think we are going to hit this side too. A little bit of gapping here, no big deal. A lot less here. So what were you guys talking about, Richie? I felt like a CEO. Richie, isn't that kind of what we are? In fact, I got to put it this way. Let's get to that in just a second. I just want to read through this stuff. Build Gundam TCG event. Yeah. It's kind of how I feel about Patriot. I feel like I'm the CEO. You get the right people in, let them do what they do, and look at this. Everything is kind of moving forward. Good analogy, Richie. Good analogy. I'm stealing it. There we go. All right. I'd like to head out for one of your events, George. Road trip next time. I can swing by and pick you up. Oh, I'm planning on doing something like that. Out of all your work, was there a model that you made and wish that you hadn't? Like regret building it? Yeah, that stupid plane that I spent too much time on. Yeah, the Aero Comet. It's the only one. Because that one I started going beyond basic assembly. And it's like, I'm going to take this to full finish. And it's like, oh, this is a disaster. Yeah, hated that plane. So the only one? Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Why would I regret building anything? I may not always be pleased with the end results. I mean, in general, I have been because I kind of bend it to my will. But yeah. So Richie, yes, I'd like to go down. Mason, yes, I'd like to go down. It's just going to be a matter of timing. Likely it's going to be next year. It is a good possibility. Next year, there will be some additional free time. I know I'm planning on going to ODO. You sure? Yeah. The George Wish model is the UFO. Shows up. I mean, you're talking about which model do I wish I would build? Or you're saying I regretted I built? Yeah. In terms of regretting, no. Just that Air Comet. That's the only one. Which one do I want to build? Yeah, I've got that UFO sub I want to get done. That'd be great. But then again, I'm looking at the list. You know, when you got, I mean, granted, this includes all models, including finished models. 800 and something models. Yeah. Hey, Ken. Good morning. So, yes, I do want to go down to one of the shows that Richie is doing. I also want to go down to one of the meetings for the Brooklyn IPMS guys. And why? Because Brooklyn is another one of these forward-thinking organizations. I want to hang out with those guys. If you guys want to come down, let me know. Richie, just let me know when you guys are running a show that's probably the same weekend as the Brooklyn IPMS meeting. Those guys, I got to tell you, first of all, Julio's down there, and I've got the world of respect for Julio. But also the guy who runs the that organization, Bob, he's also doing things differently. And things are going well for him. But the next shows, 800 plus miles, challenge accepted. I hope not. The only guy who I think is going to try to top me is going to be Tom. And he says he's not going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. I've got, after PatCon, I've got 3 shows just on consecutive weekends. Classic Plastic on the following weekend. On the October 11th is going to be the Hudson Valley show. I'm going to that down in Poughkeepsie, New York. And then the weekend after that is GraniteCon. And I'll be going to that. Yeah, Tom's going to do it. Bobby, awesome. Oh, yeah. 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 I've had the pleasure of doing 2 things. First of all, he's part of the R1 group and the IPMS R1 group, and he's I think he's always had some good stuff. I think the way their club is run, they're like, we don't do an annual show. We do our own stuff, and they've got a pretty sizable group doing something right. And then, one second. And then just listening to him and how he's talking about what they're doing for like growth and what they did with Julio, that to me was more that forward thinking. Were you blonde in your youth? I don't know. It's too young to remember. In model count. Are you talking about you, Joe? Or are you talking about Tom? Oh, Tom's going to surpass me. He's much younger, and he tends to go out and buy more shit. I order like a piece here and there. And even now, it's like there's not a lot that's out there. It's really cool when you look at the P Bandai list and you're like, yeah, I'm not interested in any of that. What the hell did I do here? Oh, I thin cemented this. That's it. Actually, that's pretty interesting. How many models have you built throughout your life? I would say probably between 30 and 40. And that includes most of the stuff that I did when I was a kid. Maybe more, 50. A lot of that stuff that I showed a while back when I was on Instagram, all the stuff that's kind of smashed in the box. I'll be lucky to even come close to 100. Yeah, but again, Joe, here's the thing, Joe, and I know you know this. This isn't a competition, It's not like, oh, look, my dick is bigger than your dick because I got more models. Yeah, it's just none of that. It doesn't matter. Model count doesn't mean shit. I built more than George, probably. I probably built the majority of this stuff when I was a kid. And then over the last number of years, yeah, I mean, I started. So, Mason, the first year I got back into the hobby in 2018, I did 10 models in a year. I mean, now I'm averaging about one a year. So yeah, it doesn't surprise really. 50,000? No, not 50,000. Like 50. Once again, it's interesting that we always talk about the end, like, the how many models have you built? That to me is indicative of a question of, you've completed your journey. How many journeys have you completed? I'd rather just say, let me tell you about the journey that I've had, and that to me is more important, you know. Would I have rather have built, you know, 10 models in the year and change that I worked on the Spartan or work on the Spartan? Oh, fuck no. I'd rather have worked on the Spartan. That was a fun journey. I mean, if you want to start a different contest, that's no way I'll win. Well, there is none of that, but okay. Hey, Clint, good morning. What's going on, brother? Happy Saturday to you. George brings most things to a full finish and does alterations. Hey, Clint Mason, when I first got into the hobby, I built like 15. Yeah, I actually didn't expect to be that low. I expected at least 1,000. No, because I was out of the hobby for a long time too. I built when I was a kid, and that was like I built like, I don't know, a lot. But they were never, like, I would say, really good builds. A lot of it was just, glued and just kind of left there. A lot of boats, that look like shit now. You know, MiG, a tank, all that stuff. And then I stopped for a few years and then got into the Gundam thing back in the 80s. And I built, I don't know, maybe about 8 or so models. And then I returned to the hobby in 2018. I'm surprised, since you've been doing that for a while in the 80s. It was from 86 to about 92. And remember, theoretically, there was college and a lot of stuff that went wrong with college, not just the academics. There was all the other stuff. I did a lot of gaming at that time. I collected a lot of comic books. So this is only one hobby. Now that I'm a lot more, grounded, I'm not into the comic book thing. The number of hobbies that I actually have is substantially reduced. How many things that you remember? I can't even answer that. Things that I built. Define thing. All right. So this part is ready now to go. That can go there. And that I will put on later. This hand is good the fuck enough. All right. Start working think this is done. Only one way to know. Let's get primer on it and see what happens. Anything objective and touchable. MSA, I got that's such a, I don't know. You know, I used to build bicycles. How many hundreds? I don't know. You know, I used to build, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. I can't even think about it. It's like, okay, what have I built? It's too much. I used to be a professional bike mechanic for a while. My favorite is career. How many AV systems have I built? A lot. Is that considered building? I don't know. All right. Did I glue this together yet? No. So we're going to glue this. Ow. Separate it first. I think asking how many breaths have you taken? Yeah. It really, it's such a broad question. It's like an impossible one to answer, you know? Define, that's why I'm saying you have to define that. Okay. It's easy to remember. What do you mean? It's easy to remember? Oops. It's not easy to remember. I mean, it's just so much. Okay. All right, let's glue this arm piece together. Anyway, now that I got a different group of people here, maybe people will answer. Anybody got anything special going on this weekend? I don't understand the question either. I personally remember. You remember everything that you built. That's impressive. Yeah, I don't have that kind of memory. So I know that Richie is getting ready for the event because he was talking about it all last night with his group, getting excited for it. That's absolutely fantastic. Anybody else got anything going on? All right, hit it. Hey, Seb. Good morning, my friend. How are you? Not, I may be closing the pool. Yeah, 300. Oh, that was a fingerprint. I felt that one. But where is it? 309. You built 391 things. Yeah. Then I would say if you're talking about everything, thousands. Sleep and healing. Yep. Sounds about right for you, Tony. I would like to see The Long Walk. Then you should see The Long Walk. Did you read the book? I'm assuming you're talking about the book of The Long Walk. Doing good in you. No complaints. Possible movie with my daughter, like at the movie theater or something at home. Parents event at my son's new school. Ooh, those are fun. Good. Back in high school, love that story. I know nothing about the story. Okay. You're soaking in it. Here's very classic King. Oh, The Long Walk is that's right. We talked about this. That's the book. That's Stephen King's first book. Got it. She is the manager of one. Ooh, hold it a second. Your daughter manages a movie theater? Ooh, I'm envious. I would love a job like that. I'm gonna see a bunch of bums later. Is one of those bums here? Clint. Tony, take Ann with you to see the long walk. She kind of asked me yesterday if I wanted to see anything. That's great, man. Yeah, she does. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm loving it. Philip Seymour Hoffman's son plays the lead. Really? That's cool. Now, that his son plays the lead doesn't mean shit if he's a shitty actor. Now, I don't know anything about him. I mean, we do know obviously who Philip Seymour Hoffman was, and he was a fabulous actor. Very unfortunate. Movies and snacks, gotta love it for sure. Oh yeah, going to see things in the theater. I love going to movie theaters. It's just that generally my experiences at movie theaters are like I'm paying a lot of money and I can have just the same experience here at home. And be able to pause for a pee break, if you know what I'm saying. Got about 20 minutes before I have to bail. I gotta head out early so I can get some Patriot work done and then get ready to go up and see my wife. Listen, I've got something to listen to. I was actually wondering about that. This afternoon, I'll be listening to the last real race day for the Vuelta. Happy about that. And then, but in the morning, I'm going to listen to the On the Bench podcast. This is my favorite job, working at showcases. I mean, I wish I had a job like that. I worked for my dad's store, so I mean, it's fine. Family is family, right? But man, them into a movie in ages, yeah. Whatever happened to intermission for movies? Whatever happened to intermission depends on how long the movie is. Because people don't have the ability to watch a 3.5 hour film anymore. Those are called art films. And particularly here in the United States, Americans don't like art films. I'm literally using my fingernail to try to remove shit. Very few of us are that old to remember those kinds of things. Like, doesn't that mean they would spend money at concessions? 3.5 hour movie. It brings me back to the Lord of the Rings. Good memories. It actually takes me back to things like Lawrence of Arabia. You know, movies where you actually did have a concession. You're right, and it did do concessions. And the other time they actually did them, when you had intermission was when you did like a double feature, like maybe like you had like The House of Wax, and then you had another horror film that kind of followed it. At that point, you'd probably have something like an intermission between the two films. But those days are kind of far behind. can't remember what I was listening to. Oh, I was listening to an interview with God, I can't believe I'm spacing out on his name. Anyway, one of the actors for the movie Quatermass in the Pit, and he was actually talking about like when he was, because he was working in film starting in the 50s through the, I mean, he's actually was in Game of Thrones recently, but Julian Glover. So he was saying it's like now films today, it's like it's all done by committee. It's like, you know, who you choose for an actor in a role. When he got the role of Colonel Breen, he said that they just called me up and said, "Hey, we'd like to offer you this role." Today, it's like everything has to go through committee and testing and everything, and it's like it's not the same thing. You know, you have to test everything. Oh, I think it's too long. Cut it back. Well, but that's what I want. No, no, got to cut it back. Okay. Anyway, my cross to bear. All right, we've almost got one side done. Can't even tell. I am looking forward to trying getting into more casting of stuff, like casting putty into these kind of fabricy shapes. I may end up doing that on the task. I think a 4-hour movie on Criterion. I made my own intermission. Exactly. Forgot to ask George, what are you working on, buddy? I'm working on a machining Krieger kit, the Raccoon, as I'm trying to get it done for our theme build at Patriot, which is animals. And I've got part of it is going to be that's going to be the pilot. But this model sucks. What color the cat going to be? I think I have to determine that after I find out what I want to do for the body of the model itself, because I want it to be some of a contrast. But Ken, what color should it be? Yeah. And unfortunately, as you all know, it's like colors and George don't go well together. So this is going to require some thought. It depends on what I actually want to do with the base unit. I'm thinking it's going to probably be a solid color and just do like some heavy weathering on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a cast texture on it. I may. I do like cast textures, and I think it would work well on this model. Whatever your heart desires, basically. How's that line go? Yo, it's all about me. I agree. When it comes to models, I want to build, yes, it's all about me. All right, that's done. Ugh, this is nasty. Ken, are you working on something? Clint, are you working on something? Oh, yeah, Clint, I was going to ask. Clint, did you ever finish Flock the Cat? It's already got texture on it, so it probably won't, but that's not a bad idea. I might consider that. How do you prefer to do those textures? I use Mr. Surfacer, and I've got to go back and take a look at my notes. I think it was Mr. Surfacer and Thin Cement. So when I textured the VK7201 prior to doing so, I tried a couple of different options, but that's the one that I liked. They each produce, I'm not sure if I saved the spoons, but they each produced a different end result. I might have to take a look to see if I saved the spoons. But it was pretty fascinating. I posted on that, on Instagram probably about 2 years ago. Ask me what, am I still working on a personality? No, brother. Are you working on a model? 1, what model is that? 2, and did you ever finish or at least assemble the 1/35th scale RX-78? 3. Thanks, I'll look it up. Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up too, because I honestly don't remember. Each one produced, like I use Bondo and enamel thinner. I used Mr. Surfacer and Thin Cement, Mr. Surfacer and MLT, a couple of different things. I think that one did not work well. I think the Mr. Surfacer and Thin Cement worked pretty well. That's the one I ultimately ended up going with on that, but I'm have to look at my notes. All right, there we go. I think I got that. Probably run some Plastic Magic on that later. Been away from the bench this summer, but we'll be back as the cooler weather approaches. Nice. I did build the Gramps. It's looking down at me as we speak. Started working on an O kit, got bored, put it aside. I have a third-party kit I'm going to start. However, I need to finish that. Yeah. You know, the scope dog. Yeah. Close that up a little bit more. Preferably before pack on. Hopefully. Hey, whatever you can bring, you bring. If nothing else, you bring yourself, right? Yuck. Yeah, I'm gonna experiment with this thing, because what's the worst that happens? I damage it. Okay, whatever. Squeeze. Nice little squeeze. Anybody ever remember watching Robert Wise's the original Andromeda Strain from like 1971? That fucking film terrified me back in the day. And it's still a horrifying, like scary as shit beginning. Anyway, the reason I just mentioned that is because one of the characters says squeeze. I always remember that line. Whoo. Which scope dog? ZGO to build. I'm all over the place. The strike dog. Stupid phone keeps cheating. Yeah, it's okay. Hey, Mike, are you making it to pack comments? Hey, Nick. Good morning. What's going on, brother? Fishing break. I've been putting together the artifact. The artifact. Nice. HGO is a fun little build. My problem is now trying to figure out where to put lines, as in scribing new lines. I never did it on that model, but that was a fun model to build. Hey, Mason. That was a fun model to build. I feel like we might be in heavy metal movie. You feel like we might be in a heavy metal movie? How so? Anyway, I guess nobody's ever seen the Andromeda Strain. Great film. First of all, Robert Wise directed it. So right there, it just screams, exudes awesomeness. Robert Wise on a bad day is better than most filmmakers on a good day. Done fishing. It's time to get stuff together to go home. Okay, so you guys are packing up this morning? Nice. Nick, how far are you guys from home? Sorry, fortifications going. Nice. The MGO too, but I doubt I'll build it unless I get another one at some point. Really? Why? Why? You want to build a twofer? All right. Are we in a good stopping place? Might be. I'm going to put the tools away right now. I've left all these out for so long. It's just time to put them away. Hey, Peter. Good morning. What's going on, brother? It's coming back out in a month or two. Yes, for a premium price. I'd like the MGO, but big bucks. I like the presentation of it in the box. Collector's mentality. Rather. There's always the Dobbin one. It is just like the Bandai one, just cheaper. Tony, when you say it's just like, can you define that? What's going on, Peter? How are you? Yeah, that gets left out. Not a bad thing to put some stuff away right now. I think I'm gonna have to replace these little tips very soon with new sandpaper. No longer $50. For what? For the MG, the master grade? Same exact mold, just cheaper plastic and process. No longer 500 on eBay. 500? Who the fuck would pay $500? Oh, I didn't find an island I like. They all had people on them. You could have sent the plague over or something, gotten them off. All right, those are set. Those are set. Funny. Can't remember. This sandpaper is the sandpaper I got from my dad, which means this sandpaper is probably older than many of you guys. Funny. Okay. Let's see what we got. It's 500. I should have sold it. Yeah, exactly. Then bought 2 new ones. But the question is, anybody paying $500 for one? I mean, for fuck's sake, really? I slept in. The world's still coming into focus. I hear you, brother. I may pick up some kits at PackCon. Need to introduce me to Mike. Oh, I'll do that. I was looking for one of the few for a few years, and the price was nuts. Pre-ordered one for $130. Yeah, that was old ass kit nowadays with little detail and minimal frame because it's an old kit, but it's a cool kit. Yeah, but it's still foundational. Like I think to what Clint was just saying about even taking like the HG and being able to rescribe lines. You know, the thing about a model is you can always do things to it. Original retail was $115 on the MGO. No, I think the original was much less than that. I mean the HG. I'm sorry, the master grade Psychozaku Verka was like 100. I'm actually thinking of purging a bunch of stuff. I just want to keep what I really want to build. Yeah, exactly. That's not a bad idea. Be sure to add model notes. Sanded with a vintage sandpaper. Always. That's what I was getting. It's a retail space to make it even cooler. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually cool. Yeah. This is the nice thing. It's like I'm gonna end this on an interesting note. One of the things that continues to make the Gundam modeler and the Gundam model better than a traditional model is your ability to do what you want to it. You know, it's interesting that for us, we look at a model as I can do what I want to this thing. It's my model, you know. Whereas a lot of traditionalists look at it and just say, I've got to get every detail right based on all of this reference stuff that I have. And I'm starting to wonder, not everywhere, but will that mentality ever change? Hey, Tom, good morning. Will that mentality ever change? And I think the answer is yes, but I think it may take longer than I thought. Of course, not wise of me to start a conversation that I can't finish now, but what's going on, Tom? All right, so I think tomorrow we are going to start stripping this thing apart and then seeing what I'm going to do in terms of replacing the hoses, because I'm not going to deal with cleaning up seam lines on hoses. Not going to fucking happen. We're going to be at PackCon, right? Okay. I think we're good. Yeah, I like the ability to build a kit that might not be perfect because you can make it your own in the end. But not just perfect. You can make it your own even if it is perfect. Like out of the box, you could look at it and just say, this is a great fucking model, but I'm going to still do stuff to it. That 160 Mazinger Z kit, I regret never grabbing it when it was released. Vintage sandpaper? Like a rock? Yeah, just like. Supposed to Tom requested to specifically have that and Comic Con weekend off. Good for you. Not quite that vintage. Yeah, not quite that vintage. But probably that sandpaper is probably about 30 years old, would be my guess. All right, my friends, time for me to bail early today. I'm going to go up to Ogunquit, hang out with my wife. Looking forward to that. Guys, stay safe and stay sane. Thanks for being on this morning. Do appreciate it. If you're coming up, I got a lot for you to give to Richie. Ooh. There, guys. Whoa, what 160 Max Kim? Message me. This, please. Later, everyone. See you, people. Ogunquit, lucky duck. Yeah, I'm looking forward to just kind of hanging out. It's a halfway point for my wife and me, so it's gonna be good. Anyway, guys, go out there and do good. Brighten the world. Okay, it's getting crazier. It is getting crazier. It's getting crazier. All right, but it's up to us to make it better. Treat people with kindness, with respect. Don't vilify. Don't treat people like shit. Treat them the way you would want to be treated. So with that, I'll be on again tomorrow. Enjoy the day, guys. Do good. Catch you on the flip. Peace.